Hello, Miss Clementine.
Hi, Susannah. How you doing?
Fine, fine. I'm so happy that we have an opportunity to
Yes.
get a chance to talk and have you interviewed by the Southern View magazine. I'm Susannah Johnson Malbreaux, and this is my good friend, Miss Clementine Charles. And one of the things we're going to talk about in this interview is the subject of lupus. And we had said, let's just read this.
Okay.
It says, what is lupus? Lupus is an autoimmune disease that can damage any part of the body, skin, joints, and or organs inside the body, such as kidneys, lungs, or heart.
Not to cut you
No,
off.
go ahead.
Most people think because you don't look ill on the outside, you're not really sick.
Right, because you know what, I have a friend of mine when I was working years ago in banking, healthy as healthy could be, and then at some point, I don't recall the symptoms, and you can probably share that with the viewing audience, but ultimately she ended up being diagnosed that she had lupus, and we saw no signs of it on the outside, of her body. So tell us, because you and I ran into each other just a week ago, just, by chance, and you just started to share with me that, you found out that you had lupus. So what kind of symptoms were you having?
I started off like my mom had passed away in 2001, and I was so busy with her, I didn't make time for myself to go to the doctor or anything because I was feeling good. But in 2002, I got sick. I started having pains in my chest, which I thought it was gas, so I used Gas X and to relieve
Those
the
type
pain. And it would relieve it for a while, but then it would come back, and it would it'd just go away and come back. So I was at work and I passed out.
Oh, poor you.
But before all that happened, I was working at Travel Lodge on Pinhook, so I would walk home, but I was crossing the highway on Pinhook, and I fell in the middle of the street.
One of the
And the
busiest
traffic
intersections.
God
Oh
was
my-
with me because
yes.
it wasn't a lot of traffic, and they had this woman in this cab driver. She said, well, get out of the street, get out the way. I said, well, I've fallen and I can't get up. So I got up, dusted myself off, and I just started walking again, and then, but then I didn't feel anything really. I fell, I got up, and I started walking.
You probably thought you tripped or something, or
But it
just
was
kind of
nothing.
lost your balance.
It was really nothing to say
Nothing
that
major.
I went over something and it made me fall. It was just falling down in the middle of the street.
Wow.
So, and then going back to my job, I had passed out. So they brought me to the hospital.
Same day?
Well, no, it was like months,
Later?
a few months, yeah.
Okay.
And I had, I was cleaning this room and I was just about finished, which I'm thinking I was still doing my job, but I was on the floor. So these ladies came and they found me and they went and called the director of housekeeping. She came up and she, what happened? But I was out. I didn't know anything. I didn't know
Didn't
anything.
remember anything, didn't recall anything.
And then they all told me, that when I woke up, I said, what am I doing here? I'm supposed to be at work. Well, Clementine, you passed out. Okay. So, well, they tested me and everything, and they said I needed a pacemaker. But then this cardiologist said, I don't think she needs a pacemaker. So I went to another cardiologist, and he said, I don't think you need a pacemaker. I don't see anything showing that. But he gave me this monitor. So when I walked, they could monitor me walking and how far I can go distance. So okay, they did all that, and he said, well, of course you need a pacemaker. So that was the first one.
Okay.
And I was still having pain.
And then like in your
It was
chest
like
area.
in this right up in here. And I went to him again, and he said, well, your pacemaker is doing well. He said, have you ever heard of lupus? I said, yeah. I only know one person that has it.
Yeah.
So he said, well, we're going to do some tests. I'm sending you to the lab. And blood tests. Blood tests, and they ran all kind of blood work and all kinds of stuff like that. And it showed that I had lupus.
Wow. Wow. So then at that point, you probably got with your family,
Well, I
chatted
got
with them.
my oldest daughter, her name is Taniqua. She was with me, and when he said that, when she went back to work the next day, she got on the computer and found out all the information. I mean, everything that she could find, and not just with my lupus, with different types of lupus,
right.
and they are different types of lupus. So we did that, and I found the rheumatologist, my cardiologist. I had a cardiologist and a rheumatologist, and they put me on some medication. And the only thing they told me was it's very rare that I only have heart problems, congestive heart failure, because it messes with your organs.
Wow.
Everything, like you said, every part inside your body, not the outside of your body. That's what people has to understand. That it's not outside, it's inside.
I know, because you look perfectly healthy.
And that's what everybody tells me. You don't look sick, and it makes me mad because you don't look sick. How are we supposed to look?
Right.
I get my hair done.
But you look healthy.
And I look healthy.
You look healthy.
But I can't walk like I used to.
And then when we talked, you were sharing that, sometimes you're in excruciating pain. So unfortunately, there's, no doubt pain medication that you have to take.
Oh, I'm on so much medicine.
Really?
I used to tease one of my girlfriends because she had a purse full of medicines. I said, girl, you have your own pharmacy. But now I have...
You have your own pharmacy now.
I have my own pharmacy, and we tease each other about that. But everything is good. There's a lot of information out there, and I talk about this all the time.
Which is why I thought it was a good idea for us to talk about it and share it with the viewing audience and video it, so you could get your story out and share that, with folks, because unless something happens to you, folks can go undiagnosed with lupus.
That's right.
Which is, it is a shame, but I guess if you're not having like some of the symptoms that you talked about, folks just won't know about it.
And they talk about cancer, and cancer awareness is really the #1 problem in America.
Right.
But now, lupus is also, because it's really in Black American women, a few men, but it's also in African American women, Puerto Rican. I think it must be the people with dark skin.
Dark skin.
Chinese people, women, and like I said, most men has it, but they don't really know. I have a cousin that has it. He says he's in remission, so he don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Is there like a certain age range? Because like you're older. The young lady that I knew years ago, she was like in her 30s. Is that, is it in children, or can children
Well,
get
you was
lupus?
just reading this, and it says lupus and teenagers.
Teenagers, yeah.
See? And for me, stress. If you're under a lot of stress, because maybe I'm thinking way back when my dad died in '95, I was under a lot of stress. Then my mom passed away in 2001, and that was very stressful. So I'm thinking, combining the two, this is what happened to me.
That's what
and I'm not really asking why. People say, well, why don't you ask why?
You can't ask, there's no why.
There's no why.
Unfortunately.
There's no why.
And then now that you have it, it's more about focusing on how can you do. What can you do? To get treated, get the
because it's not a curable disease. It's not a curable disease.
Curable.
No.
Wow. And unfortunately, then you have to live with it on a daily basis. Which brings me to, is there like a special diet that, or nutrition plan that you're expected to be on?
Most doctors have you to talk to nutritionists, and they want you to stop eating this and that and all. But we're from
Louisiana. We were talking. We were talking. Yes.
We're from Louisiana, and we like those seasons.
The seasons, the spices.
But you have to cut it out for your health.
Right.
You have to not really cut it out.
Minimize it.
That's right.
Minimize.
And a lot of desserts and just stuff.
Yeah, there's so, and you know, it's about reading the labels,
we
checking
didn't do
the
that.
ingredients.
Our
We
parents
did not
never
do
did.
that. We never did that.
Our parents never. They would go to the store, buy a can of this, buy a
Whatever.
can of that.
And canned goods are the worst.
The can does all work.
Canned goods are the worst because unfortunately for me, I've been, you know, having to, you know, read the labels. You know, the doctor says get off the salt, get off the sugar, you know, get your cholesterol down. And, you know, sometimes, again, just eating the foods that we normally eat, you know, maybe when we were younger, that's fine.
Really bad
We didn't realize how bad,
We didn't
you know,
know.
it was for us. So now, you know, we're having to play a bit catch up. You know, read the
Labels,
ingredients.
and we are
read the
not. I'm
labels.
not used to reading. I'm just going to the
Just,
store.
and
But I can't have any canned goods. No vegetables in the
of
can.
course not.
You know, I have to have fresh or
Fresh,
frozen.
but you know what too? Even though we are from Southwest Louisiana and we've got this tremendous, you know, tremendously good food, when we were growing up, think about it. We had fresh
You're
fruits and vegetables.
You're right. You're right.
Without a doubt about it, that's what our parents, our grandparents were serving us. We had our own gardens.
That's
I
right.
know we had a garden. My grandmother had a garden in the backyard. So that's what we ate. And then as time passed, I think, you know, with the fast-paced, you know, society, the jobs and everything, then next thing you know, we're having to do these quick meals. The canned goods come up, the frozen food come up. We're not really cooking
Run to
like we used to.
McDonald's.
Right, now it's, you know, fast food restaurants.
Yes.
You know, so I know you have to do that. So we're talking about nutrition, you know, and it's a challenge. So I wish you a lot of luck with that because
Well,
it is a challenge. You have to put your mind into
but you know what? I
it.
could say my cholesterol, my good cholesterol is good. The bad cholesterol, I'm still working on it. But my blood pressure is good. You know,
Do you take your blood pressure daily?
not daily, but I can feel when it's
going up?
yeah.
Okay.
And all I do is take my medication and stuff like that.
And then try to relax and, you know, because that's the main thing is about staying.
And with lupus, the thing about it is if you have severe pain, what my doctors was telling me when I get a flare up, it's right here.
Okay.
And he told me, he said, what you can do is just rest. It takes a lot of rest. And,
So you got to make a point to do that.
but I wanted to tell
And
you.
she has got so much information on lupus.
And I do.
Bless her
And I
heart.
do. And I really do. But this here, one night I was saying my prayers. And it's been a while. And after my prayer, it came up to me, I didn't know. And it's like a sprinkle, you
Go
know,
ahead
a
and
trickle
share
of
it.
waters. I didn't know. I didn't know you were there when I was a little girl. I didn't know you were there when I was a teenager. I didn't know you were there when I had my children. I didn't know you were there when my father died and you held my hand. I didn't know you were there when my mother died and you held my hand. I didn't know you were there when I became ill and had to have surgery and you told me that everything would be well. I didn't know you were there when I fell on the street and you picked me up, dusted me off, and walked me to the other side of the street. You were always there for me, I'm sorry. You were always there, and you told me, put the full armor of God, and let the Lord fight my battles.
That's powerful.
And I live by that every
You live
day.
by that every day.
Every day.
That's beautiful. I'm glad you were able to share that.
Every day I live by that, and it was, I didn't know, but God was always with me. And I called my daughter in the middle of the night, and I told her, and we both started crying on the phone. And she said, "Mama, write it." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna write it. You can rewrite it." She said, "No, I'm gonna type it up just like." And she illustrated this for me.
Okay, that's beautiful.
So, but like Ms. Susannah said, I have a lot of information on lupus. We had a one-day conference at UL in 2012 at the university. One of my good friends, it was the National Association for Black Journalists. We got together by me talking about it and talking about, she said, let's do this one-day conference. And we did. It was it was okay, but nobody came.
Oh,
You know,
that's unfortunate.
It was a free of charge, and we had different types of people
Mm-hmm.
to come, and
I mean, you got this whole
I
program.
got this whole
booklet.
program, but yes, and Darla Montgomery was there,
Mhm.
and that's me.
But audience
Audience wasn't there.
participation
No.
was low.
No, it was really low, and we, you know, it was a lot of people that could give information.
Mhm.
It's just a lot of stuff, and this is Henrietta.
Are
that-
there any plans? I know you were telling me about, you know, another local support group.
We do have another. It's going to be our first meeting. Should be in December,
Okay.
the third Thursday of the month
Okay.
at.
And I know you were saying it's Brenda Andrus,
Brenda Andrus.
that's involved with
Yes.
that, which gives us a
Her and her
topic,
children.
you know,
Her
for
children.
another,
Her and her sisters.
her sisters, you know, which gives us me an opportunity to meet with Brenda
Mhm.
and interview her and let her start getting the information about the support group, you
Mhm.
know, so folks that, you know, have lupus or know somebody that have lupus, you know, can come out. So I'll be touching bases with her, you know, but that's one of the support groups that they're starting. Is there one that you've been going
There's
to?
one on Congress.
Okay.
Congress and Ambassador
Okay.
Caffrey, what is that place?
While you think
My brain is
That's
really
okay,
going
but
out.
that's okay. We can get that and then just
Mhm.
kind of share that with folks later. But are there a number of people that are in attendance of that support
No.
group? There's not.
No.
So that could be that, you know, there are not that many people in this area that have lupus, or they're just
Don't
not
know.
don't know
They
about
don't
the
know.
support groups. Just don't know that there are people out there that are going through and experiencing the exact same thing that they're experiencing, which is why I think it's a great opportunity that you were willing to share that story, because I know, like you said, you've been doing your research, you know, that's something that you have to live with all your life, you know, so.
And there are different
Education is
support
important.
groups. There's one, we need to have one open in Lake Charles,
Okay.
in New Iberia.
Mhm.
Shreveport, Alexandria, you know, there are no support groups out there. And this is what I've been working on for months,
Bless you.
trying to get different organizations to come out
Mhm.
and support lupus.
Okay.
That's, you know,
Making
when I
people
found
aware.
out I had it, I went to work. I had to do whatever I could do to make people aware, because people might think it's a contagious disease, and it's not.
Right, I was gonna ask you about that, you know, it's not contagious?
No.
You know?
By touching you, you know, and stuff like you, hugging you, I'm sorry to say this, but it's not like AIDS,
Right.
okay? It's just an autoimmune disease
Mhm.
that people
End up, you know.
end up having.
contracting.
Young people,
Right.
older people, because I was in my late 50s when I was diagnosed. So it could have been, I could have been having it and
That's what I
didn't
was just
know.
gonna say, it could have been, you know, sitting there just,
Yeah.
you know, not knowing. Then, is it hereditary?
It is,
Wow.
it is. And I have had my daughters to be tested.
Okay.
Well, a few has been tested,
Mhm.
and she doesn't have
Do
it.
they go maybe for annual testing? What's
Well, they
the
should,
recommendation?
they should.
At least.
They should. When they go to, and that's what I told the people at my church when I was diagnosed the first time. You know, it doesn't cost much.
Mhm.
Go to your doctor. Have him to send you to the lab. Get a lot of blood work done and see if you have it.
Early detection,
Early
you know, for the most
detection,
part, you
yes.
know, that way you can get started on the treatments,
Yes.
you know, early just by
Yes.
being aware.
Because you can have joint pain.
Wow.
You know, because I had this friend, she thought she had lupus, but she was diagnosed with lupus a while back. And then when I recently talked to her, she said she has,
Is it skin or
she has no lupus.
no lupus?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
No lupus.
Good.
She has, I hate this, my
That's
brain.
okay.
I hate this.
That's okay.
She has rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
and it's the same symptoms with lupus, but she has rheumatoid arthritis. So you can be misdiagnosed.
Not good. So are there specialists here in the Lafayette area that you're able to see? You don't have to drive anywhere, outside of the Lafayette area.
No,
We've got
there's a
specialists here in Lafayette.
rheumatologist,
Okay.
Dr. Lipstate,
Okay.
James Lipstate. He's a rheumatoid
I know
arthritis.
him. I went to school with him.
That's him right there. Dr. James Lipstate.
Yes. I think that's the same one. Sure enough. Okay.
He's a rheumatologist,
Okay.
but he also treats for lupus.
Okay. And, Clementine has, brochures and pamphlets, and you have like your own library of lupus,
Yes.
So while you have this opportunity, is there anything else you'd like to share with the viewing audience?
Well, I have had mitral valve replacement
Microvalve
because I had my valves, my heart valves were leaking, and it was backing up into my lungs. So my cardiologist, Dr. Gus Ingraldi, he sent me to Homa to see this doctor, and we did the procedure in December of last year, and it was some information that I wasn't aware of, and this is the mitral valve here.
Okay.
Now, if I was well enough, I could have all this changed. I could have done surgery, but since I couldn't have the surgery to replace the valves, they had to go in my groin, and they had to clamp it. And they did that in December of last year, and then I had to have another one done in July of this year. Heart valve problems. It's just a whole lot of stuff that people can go online and read about.
Right. And I can see, you pull this, from
My
your
daughter.
daughters. That's great. That's
Because
great.
I don't do computers. I have no computer savvy at all. You see, mitral valves.
All right. Wow.
And
Well, again, more information that, we'll be able to share, with folks, give them an opportunity to learn about it, get the families out, and making them aware of like the various support groups.
because there's different symptoms. It's not, well, with me, it's this. You might have
I
it.
might have a different
Something else.
different part of my body that
Yeah.
that's affected.
Like I said, rheumatoid arthritis, your joints, I don't have that. Right now, sometimes
Does
I
it
get tingling in the fingers.
spread or can it spread? Or if it hits like one particular area of your body,
It
it's
sticks
kind
to
of
that.
settled there.
But it's like you read on this, it was like, okay, your joint pains, your skin, your joints, your organs, every
Organs.
inside of you, not the outside, your kidneys, your lungs, your heart, your brain, okay, everything. And this is what people need to really be aware of. What's really going on with everything.
A lot of information. Well, you know what? Thank you so much
You're so
for
welcome.
granting us this
You're so
opportunity to, interview you.
Mhm.
And then just to let the audience know, you guys, this issue will be coming out December. It's our December issue. So we'll have the printed interview with Clementine, and it'll also be available on our website, and we'll be sharing that information. It's the Southern View magazine, and it has been my pleasure to interview my good friend Clementine. I love you. All right, now I've got this one-man operation, so I need to, go out there. So
Okay.
while I'm turning the camera off, go ahead and share, whatever information you'd like to share with the audience, okay?
Well, I'm Clementine Charles. I'm 61 years old, soon to be 62. I have my children, daughters. They're really backing me up with everything that I've been going through. They have been there for me. You know, when I need to go to the doctors and when I needed to go to Homa to see this doctor, you know, they were with me. It's just a whole lot of things that I wanted. I keep saying but I wanted people to be aware of that this is not a disease to be played with. You really have to understand that lupus is not a contagious disease, but you can have it and don't know it. And I have a sign in my window that says, could I have lupus and don't know it? You know, so be tested. Go to your if you have a cardiologist can help you, a rheumatologist can help you. Any doctors that deals with the heart or your muscles, they can help.